John Cena and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Now, I'll play first of all, I don't need to hear anything else about Travis Scott. I don't need to hear another Travis Scott song. I don't need to see any Travis Scott merch. I don't need to see any Travis Scott's shoes unless they're coming to my door because I got what the hood needs and I would definitely flip them to them. But other than that, I don't need to see Travis Scott anymore. That's what they come up with. Like, I understand they're flirting with the idea of Travis Scott being at WrestleMania. Cody kind of taunting him and them talking about each other throughout the entire week or so build going into the WrestleMania. But that's what you come up with? That really? And then Cody, well, first, there's something to blame here when it comes to that. And we're going to jump into this real quick. Let's pray I don't get copywritten, but we're going to do this right now. We're going to jump to The Rock on Pat McAfee's show explaining why he was not at WrestleMania. So we're going to listen to that right now.
As we got closer to...
Baby, you live in your life, and nigga, you ain't living right.
Bear with me, guys.
Baby, you...
As we got closer to Elimination Chamber, we were kicking ideas around, myself and Triple H. And that's the fun part, by the way. I've been kicking ideas around with Triple H for 20 years, dude. Just always having a great time with him and Nick and my team as well. And Triple H said, you know, what about this? What about John turning? I said, I love it. I love it. The next question is you got to talk to John, see how he feels about it. John loved this idea. So when we were moving forward with John, and this idea of him getting crowned at WrestleMania and becoming 17 and turning heel, and then being a heel champion. I knew then the best thing for the final boss, we've established this idea of Cody's soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. Step back. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul eventually or John's soul. No, let's let them do what they do. And I called John after Elimination Chamber, spoke to him, called Cody, and I said, I think the final boss's work is done. We've established it. We just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling, other than Hulk Hogan turning heel back in the 90s. I said, this is amazing. We have 6 weeks. Now, let's build. You guys go and crush it. And I'll be right there with you. And I'm always here if you need me. But I think it's best for the final boss not to be involved in that finish. You guys go. So they had 6 weeks to plan for that. So I love the finish of the match. I would have finessed things a little differently on how they got there, but that's just me creatively. There are a lot of minds in the room. That's my thought. But still, ultimately, the bottom line was I love John getting 17. And I never had a concern about John pulling this off. My thoughts are always to Cody because of what we've established with him and his story and the kind of babyface that he is. So if done right, and I think if finessed right, and if nuanced right, down the road, that guy not only has an incredible babyface run again as champion, but also just an unheard of run as a heel down the road. As we got closer to Elimination Chamber.
All right. So right there, you heard The Rock's comments about why he wasn't at WrestleMania. Now, he has a couple points because he's really clever in the way he speaks, where he says that they created the biggest angle since Hogan turning. It was a big angle that night. That's it. The issue that I have with this entire thing is, and I think everybody does, we sat there and waited X amount of weeks for why. If John Cena turns heel without you there, we're not looking for answers. But instead, we're waiting for answers for X amount of weeks and we get absolutely nothing. And that's what you come out with and say. It's just mind-blowing. It doesn't make any sense. I understand that you're saying it's for ticket sales or whatever, fine, but there should be some kind of verbiage or explanation of why John Cena did what he did along with you. The problem was you. We were waiting for you the entire WrestleMania weekend. Every show, including this show, every big media outlet is talking about what's The Rock involvement going to do. But instead, we get motherfucking Travis Scott. That don't make no goddamn sense. That's terrible. That is terrible. And let alone Travis Scott gets an entrance, bro. Like, really? Travis Scott comes out, gets his own entrance, takes forever to get down to the ring. I'll give him this. The best thing he did was sell the Crossroads. And then that finish, God, Cody being conflicted about being a babyface and seeing that the finish was absolutely awful. It was terrible. But in my opinion, The Rock ruined the WrestleMania main event because everybody is waiting on why John Cena did this and why he aligned and walked out with The Rock. And we never quite got an answer about why he aligned with The Rock. If he doesn't align with The Rock, we would not be having these questions, and we could look and view the build 100% differently than what we did. We wouldn't be waiting for certain answers that we were waiting for. And that was the issue. And that was the issue with the match. We already knew the match was not going to be the best because Cena is not the best worker at this point in his career. Cody did what he could, but we were just all waiting with our nose pointed up, waiting to see what actually was going to happen in this match with The Rock. We were waiting for that Rock moment. Bully Ray had an excellent idea. If The Rock's not going to show up, just have instead of Travis Scott, just have The Rock's music hit and let the finish the way it happened, and that's fine. But the thing is, The Rock was some kind of involvement, and as Bully Ray said, the music plays. The Rock, you could still see that The Rock's on Cody's mind, but The Rock's nowhere to be found in this situation. So many things that could have happened, we didn't get. And in my opinion, it ruined the WrestleMania main event. And then he goes to tell Dave LaGreca to kind of just be patient. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but it's like, which one is it? We're sitting here waiting for something to happen. And it's just like, that's what you come up with and say. And that's going to lead into, I think, as a wrestling fan who never stopped watching, I think I have like the most PTSD main event for Backlash. We got John Cena and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship in St. Louis. Now, I will say this. The fact after we got The Rock's interview from Pat McAfee's show, I feel that we kind of got closure to an extent. So now we can kind of not wait on The Rock. Now, this could be something that he actually wants us to do, but we're not waiting on The Rock. We're not waiting for these answers anymore. And John Cena's promo the night after WrestleMania was better because we're not waiting on answers about The Rock. We could just focus on John Cena. John Cena comes out, his Titantron his Titantron is just black and white letters with his name, and he's sitting there counting down the dates, and then we get Randy Orton RKOing him, and we're going to end up with Randy Orton and John Cena. But now we can move forward with how we view John Cena and not just sitting waiting for him to come down at WrestleMania. We could just be fine with just having John Cena be John Cena and not worry about The Rock. Now, The Rock comes back down the road, fine. He did his job in that interview, kind of swerving people. But WrestleMania, it needed to be some kind of involvement when it comes to The Rock in John Cena's alignment at Chamber. As far as the